hello, everybody. That's Deborah. The beautiful one is Deborah.
Hello.
And I'm Ioannis, and this is The Nature of Belief, Conversations with Deborah and Ioannis, The Nature of Belief. It's a little series of videos we're putting together to just talk about what, we know that belief underpins everything we do. It's the legs of the table that holds up our map of the world. So, and we know that beliefs are pretty amazing things. So this particular episode we're talking about, I'm just going to refer to my screen again. How does prayer work, and is it truly important? And of course, this is a belief. If you believe prayer works, then it's going to work. Isn't that right, sweetie?
Yeah, I fully agree with that.
Talk over.
It all comes down to belief. If you think prayer is a whole lot of hogwash, it's a whole lot of hogwash.
Okay, well, that's gone quick. All right, thanks very much, everyone, for listening. It's been brilliant. Hang on.
I'm the talkative one, and it's like really early in the morning. So, let's see how much you get out of me.
I've taken off the glasses, so everything looks lovely now. Look, I think the most important point that we make about prayer is I don't think people do understand that there's power in words. Let's say, for example, it's not called spelling for nothing. The reason it's called spelling is because you can use words to create spells. So you have, in the past, words were used to create spells because people understood the power of words. And the important point that we want to make in this talk is how just casual words that are said, how sometimes you just sort of tease and you just sort of, taking the mickey and this and that. And might be something about someone's appearance or about their habits. And the truth is they might be really have a little thing about that and it may really upset them at times. And they don't want to show, everyone likes to show they're not fragile and they're tough and they can, I know. I wish I didn't have that cream bun as well. But the truth is some of that stuff really hurt. I've been studying this a bit lately because I was a terrible teaser. I'm a terrible teaser. I'm the son of the great tormentor. My father was the great tormentor. He had endless joy in seeing other people suffer. He was a bit of an arse. And I kind of picked up the habit. And you tease the ones you love and the ones you're close to, but some of the stuff hurts. And so when we talk about prayer, if you believe, when you believe that there's greater forces out there than us, when you believe that we are a great force, then all of it starts making sense. And the prayer is calling your great force out to the other great forces when you need a bit of assistance. That's kind of what prayer is. Do you agree, darling?
Yeah, I think people and different religions and stuff like that have different definitions of prayer or understanding of prayer. And so for me, it's a case of, what is prayer? Traditionally, it's kind of like, and I think if you sum it up in terms of all the different faiths and all the different religions and that, it is the heart center of most religions. So if you remove prayer, you kind of like remove the expression of or the divine expression. So basically, for me, and my understanding of prayer is that it is the communication or the outreaching of the individual to source. So it doesn't matter what you or how you pray. It is basically the center or the heart, the pulse of every religion. And so they all might do it differently. If you look at the Quran, the Muslims believe the Quran, or they say the Quran is a book of prayer. So, that in itself is so expressive, and then the Christians I just think of the book of Psalms. That book is purely prayer. It is praise and worship, and it's prayer, it's adoration to divine source. And so that's why for me, prayer is the root or the center, the heart, the pulse of every single religion. You can trace it back to that. What it means to individuals or to people could be different, and it could be delivered in a different way. But yeah, so that for me is basically what I believe prayer is.
Yeah, and it's not only just religions, it's also philosophies. I was a Nichiren Buddhist for some years, and the Nichiren Buddhists just believe, so here we are, the nature of belief, that chanting Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, that was the ultimate expression of the Lotus Sutra, which is the ultimate expression of man attaining Buddha man, woman, attaining Buddhahood in their lifetime. And that could all be achieved. So you could clean your karma, you could get close to your Buddhahood to source by just chanting Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. And we did. And we chanted like Bilio. I mean, we chanted, and I'll tell you, there was times when I just felt the energy in a room. There was two experiences I had, where one was in the SGI Centre in Sydney. On Tuesday, they used to have a chant, and every Tuesday morning they would just chant for hours, and away they go. And you just turn up, and I'd sat in the back. It was a lot of Japanese women. Nichiren Buddhism sort of originated in Japan in the 12th century. And a lot of Japanese women, there's a couple of old white blacks at the back, there's me and another fellow. But I tell you, they rock. It's supposed to be like galloping horses. Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, Nam Myoho. And you walk in and you almost felt like this wave of power just coursing through the room. It was just awesome. And then in another occasion, I was there. They have men's groups and all different groups in this form of Buddhism, which is, I think, is a very good idea, because men have a particular set of problems and women have a particular set of problems, and I mean uniquely for them in certain aspects of their lives. And so they had, and the men's group could talk about business and golf and all sorts of things, but they didn't really. They just talked about, I think, the issues that they faced as men that they maybe wouldn't want to talk in front of their partners or in front of women. And I tell you, one night, this is in Edgware in North London, there was 30 blokes, and I tell you, when 30 blokes are going, Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, like with all that basso and tenor voices, and oh my God. And I'm quite energy sensitive, because I've been doing those sorts of Qigong and Tai Chi for many years. So when the energy starts sort of parting my hair, and I tell you, when it parts my hair, it's powerful.
I can see it. I can see it blowing back in the wind.
All happening. So just to finish, round off that point, and in my, I lived in an ashram, and that was mainly Hindu chanting. And I know that the ultimate guru of ours, Amma, she always said a mantra before she did anything, and it was kind of like a prayer, and it was like her connection directly to Shiva or whichever of the gods she was, dealing with at that time. So yeah, sorry, you were going to say, sweetheart.
Yeah, well, that those examples that you gave brings up for me what we call in the Christian faith intercessors. So basically, a friend of mine, because I was in leadership in ministry for many years, and a friend of mine, Cindy, is a very powerful intercessor. And the two of us together used to sometimes pray for 6-7 hours straight. So sometimes we would start at 12 o'clock at night, and we would walk a room and we would pray, and we would get into a rhythm. After about half an hour, we would feel each other, and the energy and the frequency was so high, excuse me, that we would start to flow in each other's energy, and we would just continue for sometimes 6-7 hours, and we would just walk the floor and just praise and worship and cry. Often the two of us would be sobbing. We would not connect at all in terms of physically touching each other or seeing each other, but we would be bringing before Source the needs and whatever the issue was. Having grown up in Africa, there were many issues and unrests, and at times political unrests. There might have been violence in an area, and the two of us used to work as intercessors and pray for that specific problem or that specific community and things like that. And it was just amazing what happened, how the Holy Spirit moved with us tapping into. So it's a little bit like chanting, but
a lot like chanting.
Yes. So we would get that frequency up so high that we would not even be aware of each other, but we could literally go for hours, and we did. And we would just pace and walk, and it was so powerful. And often church uses intercessors. They could be,
So can I just stop you? What's that word?
Intercessors.
Intercessor.
So, yes, intercessors. They call it intercessors. So basically, what it is community leaders or elders within the faith that people have respect for, and who are normally older, who have the ability to pray for hours, who have the ability to hold that frequency, to connect to divine source and hold it. So I think where it comes from is a lot of people might be, assessing this and looking at it. A lot of people might be a little bit, to use the word, lazy in prayer. So they would say, okay, we leave it to the intercessor, somebody that has the ability and the discipline to go for the 6-7 hours. And so that is what, I would look at. There are elders within communities, in, tribal communities, where they have had results with prayer, or they highly respected as a person of faith within the community because they keep certain things. And so they are what we call prayer warriors. And so they, whether it's wrong or right, depending on your belief, I am now of the belief that, anybody is really an intercessor or a prayer warrior, depending on, do you have the discipline to actually connect to source and to do it faithfully and, daily or whatever. And so, so that's that, why did I mention that was because you had related the stuff about the, the mantras and stuff like that. So from the Christian faith, they have the same sort of thing.
Yeah. Well, I just want to also raise a little point now, and I'm just adjusting the volume here. Sorry if I move in a bit close. Deborah said understand instead of understand, and there's a reason she says that, and I don't know if this is the right reason, but this is the reason that I think she does it.
Well, come on, let's see whether you get it right or not. I'll embarrass you on camera.
Fabulous. Understand is from an old tradition of maritime law, where if someone says, "Do you understand me?" you're saying, "Do you stand under my authority?"
Yes.
And so it has a different meaning to what we think it is to understand. Inner stand means I understand at an inner level. I'm inner standing. So
yes,
I get it.
Yes.
Whereas I stand under your authority means you're going to police, that's the first thing they say, and then say in court, do you understand the charge? Do you understand what I'm saying? Do you understand this? What they're asking you is, do you stand under my authority? And the best thing to say, my friends, is always, no, I don't understand at all. You'll have to explain this in a way that you have I have given my authority up to you or something, if you want to be. Anyway, that's another story for another podcast.
That's exactly what it is. I always say, go inside. The power is within me. And so I understand everything. So I'm coming from a place of my strength, my divinity. And I'm not.
Go inside is going to be the name of our. Go inside is going to be the name of our new podcast. Go inside. So thank you for bringing it up. Nice little link, darling.
So I just, when I was thinking about this topic, I was thinking of the different areas within prayer. Sometimes for me personally, prayer is a very personal thing. It always has been. As a young child, I was able to talk to Lord Yeshua or Jesus. And so I never understood why I had to go to a priest or why there had to be somebody between myself and source. So I got that from a young child. And so
that's a very good question, though.
Yeah. And so for me, there was always just this constant chatter with source. So I would, when you see a child that has an imaginary friend and you ask them why they talk.
And what do?
And that was me. I was constantly talking to source, and people would look at me. Even now, as I walk through the mall or I'm at a place, I'm constantly talking. And sometimes I see people looking at me strangely, and I can see they're thinking, where's this person? This adult has an imaginary friend. She's talking.
Where's her phone?
But I'm constantly connecting and talking to source. So for me, it was very difficult to understand things like confession, which is, an admittance of sin and, an acceptance of guilt. So, because you're confessing it to a priest or a pastor or whatever. So those things were very strange for me, because I understood that I could connect direct. So I never got, but a lot of religions and faith, confession is very much part of, their belief. And because for me, I never, I correct myself, as a Christian and a practicing born again Christian believer of Lord Yeshua. I believe that his sacrifice on the cross was the forgiveness of the deliverance, the savior of my sin. I now am of the belief that everything here on earth is just an experience, and is there really sin or guilt? I no longer believe in that. We evolve.
So beliefs change. But getting back to the question is, how does prayer work? Okay, so I want to explore another aspect of this. Is in the Hindu faith and in a lot of the ancient philosophies, words have sounds. These sounds are vibrations. I'm practice transcendental meditation. When you do I started 50 years ago. Nearly 48 years ago. When you do this ritual, unfortunately, everything has a ritual. When you do the ceremony to finally get your graduation, you're given a mantra, which is your secret mantra, which when they say secret, you just never divulge your mantra. That's your personal mantra, and that's what you meditate with. and I've never divulged it, but it really came up a lot when I was working in the ashram, which was primarily Hindu. I was a sound producer and musician in it. I did all the sounds. So when we had the talks about ancient sounds like hreem, shreem, ang, aing, these are sounds, these vibrations are known, these are ancient Sanskrit words, and there'll be, I'm sure in other philosophies and religions, ancient words. Nam is a very, very powerful ancient word. That whole thing of nam and nang. These sounds. So how does prayer work? So one is there's a vibration that when you say out loud, you create a vibration. So that definitely is something that happens. There is no question that vibratory matters are real, and we are in a vibrational universe. And if you don't believe that, then you need to find someone with electron microscope and get matter and go down, and you'll see it's vibrating. Everything's vibrating all the time. So we live in a vibrational universe. So words create a resonant frequency. That's why our music in our sister channel, Gaia's Jam, is all at 432 hertz. That's the resonant frequency of Gaia. It was changed to 440 hertz in 1931, but originally it was in a sort of mathematical equation, a fractal equation that when you have harmonics and incidentals, as they create overtones and yada yada yada. So for number one, how does prayer work? There is certainly something about certain words. Amen is from ang ein. It is from ancient Sanskrit sounds. So there's definitely something that happens there, vibratory. The other thing is, if you believe, and I do, and Deborah does, in the ascended masters and the presence of ascended beings and re-embodied beings and masters, then they're listening. They're listening to our prayers. And if you believe in your own I am presence, that means that you are, when I say a God, you are.
Well, we are,
not the God, not our God, but your God, if you know what I mean, because you have the God gene, you're intrinsically connected to Source, and Source in a unity consciousness is connected directly to God. So you have the power to create.
We're part of the Trinity, so it's Father, Mother, and us.
Yeah.
So,
And so we are the child of that union, and so we have the God gene. When you get the divine spark, when at a given point you get the God gene, and away you go. And unfortunately, it looks like that knowledge has been suppressed. It constantly gets suppressed in us, and so we start looking outside for our solutions rather than inside.
Well, I just want to say, a lot of what we've been taught, and a lot of religions, faiths, petition Source. So it's that repetition of petitioning. And when I was part of ministry, I used to have people come for prayer. And I used to look up and I used to see a line of people waiting for me to pray with them. And I used to think to myself, there's something missing here. What am I not getting? The same people are here week after week, standing for the same prayer and the same issue. And suddenly, a few years ago, the light went on. For me personally, it became my belief system changed. I understood that because, and in Genesis, in terms of the Christian faith, it's very clear that God says we are co-creator. Source says we are co-creator. So if you examine that in the words and go within and understand that, if I am co-creator, it means I can create. And so me constantly petitioning the same thing over and over takes away my divine power, my divinity, in terms of who and what I am. I am co-creator. I am God. I am able to manifest and create, but I just do not understand how to do this anymore because I've relinquished that power because I did not understand it. And religion and faith has in some ways stolen or taken from that. So getting back to that simplicity again, when we understand that and we connect to divine source, we get it. Because we shouldn't be petitioning constantly, this repetition, constantly petitioning for something in terms of, can you provide this? Can you heal me? Can you, which is a lot of times what prayer is doing. And it was that when I looked at the queue of people and I saw the same faces coming forward and wanting me to pray for the same thing, I thought there is something missing. And it's that understanding, that knowing that you are able, by standing in your divine power, to create and manifest all that you are petitioning. And so that is where I think, for me personally, I was able to switch and understand who I am and the power that I held. And
well, definitely, yeah. As you get further away from source, you leave the oneness, the unity consciousness, and you come into dualistic thinking. And as soon as you separate yourself from source, that's when you start having to ask someone else for help all the time. And that's so in that one sense, okay, prayer is asking outside. But if you read the works of the Ascended Masters, they're saying all you do is switch on your I am presence. We're here to help you, and they all get help. I just read a chapter by Lord Yeshua, who said, I got help. I got help to ascend. I asked for help. We all ask for help. This is the beauty of man. And this is why we urge everybody to serve as much as possible mankind. And that's one thing we decided to do. That's what all this is about, is beings, human beings, maybe all beings, love to help each other. There's something rewarding, and it's not just getting a pat on the back or patting yourself on the back. There is something intrinsically nurturing about assisting someone else go forward. So when you pray from heart,
really one.
Well, yeah, but and when you switch on your I am presence, so you I am love, I am faith, I am gratitude, I am. You must be in gratitude, because look what we have. You know, I know some people are struggling, but really look around you. We have food everywhere. We have housing. We have heating. I know things are getting tough economically, and I know all this stuff. But that is part of the Maya, the false world that they're creating to make us feel that we are powerless. We're not powerless. That's one of the petitions that Deborah was speaking about. So to make the point as how does it work? It works by you switching on you give permission to be helped, because you have free will. That's where we fell. Because we had free will, we started trying to get love from everywhere. We were in love with source. We were love. We were infinite love.
Well,
and then we started going, we are love, but of course we started looking for more love. Well, I'll get love from her or him, and I'll get some more love from them, and I'll get some love from my boss. And suddenly you've let go of source and you're all in duality. And so because we have free will, we need to give permission for assistance. So even with a guardian angel, we all have a guardian angel. You have to give permission. And then once you give permission, the prayers, trust me on this, I have come from a lot of different places than Deborah has. And I've done, you know, I won't go into my past, but anyway, all I'm saying is in the last X months, the revelation. I've been on a journey for a long time, but the last year, I've really come to understand the I am presence, the I am, the function of our free will, and what we need to do to get our prayers really acted upon. And has it improved? Is it truly important? It is truly important to me. Every day now I'm talking to the Ascended Masters. Sorry, darling, I'm on a roll. Quick, you better stop me.
I was just gonna use my finger.
Yeah, look, if you find me calling Deborah sweetheart and darling a bit offensive to your, I apologise. That's just how I feel, and we're okay with it. So I do it.
Okay, so the last one I wanted to touch on was praise and worship. A lot of faiths use praise and worship, and I think it's one of the most freeing part of prayer. To use your ability to make joy. I mean, to be in divine joy brings happiness. And so to be able to give praise and gratitude and thanks is so powerful. And it's really reflected in people when you see that they live and they vibrate in gratitude. It just is a beautiful thing to see. And so for me, I was always really vocal in my praise and worship. And so, that was just one of the other things I wanted to mention about prayer. So, I think we need to conclude this discussion.
I think we do too. I think we've hit the two main points: is how does it work, and is it important? For us, it really does work, and it works through vibration, through belief. You have to be sincere and doing it through love and gratitude. So you pray through your love and your gratitude to the greater sense of yourself, or the greater. Words are pretty limiting in this sense, but the great mystery. Let's call it the great mystery, because words just do not do justice. And is it important? I think, I believe, and I know Deborah believes the same, is a relationship with your higher self and with the Ascended Masters, your guardian angels, and all your guides is essential. They're your family. They're your cosmic family. We are brothers and sisters in a cosmic plane of all holding the light. And if we want to get out of this mess,
and that is Ioannis's belief.
Well, we're not in a mess, but if you know what I mean, the more people that are in the light, and as David Byrne said, remain in light and are holding the light, then we influence more people, more other people, and that's all I mean. I'm not saying it's a mess. Everything's perfect as far as I see it.
Yeah, I was saying that was your belief in terms of the Ascended Masters, cosmic brothers and sisters, and whatever. It might not be other people's belief, but that's okay. Everybody's at a different place on their journey.
That works for me anyway.
For me. For me, it's always simple. I always say, keep it simple, because for me that works. And so go within and find your truth. All your power is within. Connect to your higher self, to Mama, Papa, God, and remember you're part of that Trinity. And talk.
And give permission. Give permission for assistance. If you ask for assistance, you must give permission for them to assist you. You have free will. You've chosen where you are now. If you're watching this because you've got problems or you've got issues that you can't seem to resolve and you want to see prayers the answer, maybe they haven't been working because you've not given permission to get the assistance. We put out everything that happens to us in our lives, we create through cause and effect. Whether you believe it or not, we're that powerful. We create everything.
Well, you know, just for me to end on this one, I remember, I can't remember, maybe 2 years ago, speaking to one of my guides, and I was told, we hear your cries, we hear your petitions, we hear the prayers of the masses, we hear them, and often what you ask for is at your feet. It has been given, but you do not take it and accept it and bring it in because you have not asked and you have not accepted. You just are so busy hearing yourself crying out and speaking that you don't ever give thanks and accept what has already been given to you, and so you miss it. And so that was really powerful for me. So it goes back to what you say, give permission and give thanks and gratitude for it already having been given. And very simple. So I hope you've gotten something out of this.
Yes, we do. We hope you have, and we hope you come and well, you tell us what you think. So comment below, like, share, and subscribe. We'll be doing more of these, and we're going to explore the nature of belief for maybe 6 or so podcasts. But we've got Deborah and Ioannis chatting with, conversations with, where we're just going to go inside and we're going to talk about all things spiritual, cosmic, ascending. Whatever blows our dresses up. Anyway, all woohoo. We're going to talk about the great woohoo. All right, thank you for your time. We're really grateful for every minute that you spare us because we know how busy everyone is. And we'll see you again.
Love you all. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.